Hey guys, it's me here for another episode. Today we're going to talk about clubs and activities on campus. Now, pre-COVID, it was actually pretty fun because I've been here since 2017. And I was a freshman, so I didn't have that many assignments, and my classes were like 100, maybe some 200 level classes, and it was fairly easy um, compared to now being a senior. But, you know, it was so fun. I feel like college life after COVID has actually changed. I think we're gonna have to do a whole episode about that. You put it in my notes because that is something we really need to talk about. But definitely college life pre-COVID was fun. When you don't have to worry about like catching anything and you can go out there and, do what you need to do. Um, that's also good. For me, I was part of a few clubs. And those clubs were mainly okay. So I was part of a club. I don't want to say what it is. Mm, the experience, let me not be a hater. The experience was okay. It's just, I feel like I should have like branched myself out more than just being part of that one club, um, and relying on that for a social life. I wanted to join theater club, but I was like too afraid to be on stage. But you can like be a director. You can like direct scenes. So I remember seeing that in like 2017 and I was like, oh, I'm too shy. Um, but then after COVID, I joined it and I loved it so much. And when I compare it to another club that I was in that I will not name, it was, I wasn't, I'm more focused on school. I wasn't always present and always just doing the most in the club, but I did what I needed to do. Like if we have a play or whatever, I'll do something. But I wasn't as active as other members, which is okay. So I didn't like make like best friends in this club. Um, but I really, really was myself. And I think there's so many clubs on campus where you can just explore. Um, and sometimes, hey, it might not be perfect. I'm not the best actor. I tried acting and it was bad. It was terrible. I couldn't remember my lines. I had to improvise the entire time. But I was good at directing. They asked me to help them with the next big production next semester, but I'm like, hey, I'm graduating this semester. Sorry, but had I started, I could have really if I wasn't shy, if I didn't doubt myself, I feel like I could have really done something. And that is quite regrettable. Because I ended up being good at it, but I doubted myself in the beginning. But I was so happy I decided like, hey, if I fail flat on my face, it's okay. It's completely fine. Sometimes you gotta fail, you know what I mean? Fail before you succeed, trial and error, right? You can't just be perfect all the time. And I'm glad I tried that. And it really helped me learn about myself, honestly. And the club that I shall not name, the other one, I was more in it because that was what was socially expected of me. It wasn't really my idea. Like I was okay with being there, but I feel like in the long term, those certain types of people, because there's some people they're pretty dramatic. Yeah, that wasn't it. It was not it. It really wasn't. But I ended up joining other clubs, or at least some clubs I might have just came in and out. So there was a Black student club. I forgot what it was, where we talked about Black issues and like historical things. Yeah, and I really do wish I was more active in the Black community on campus, but I wasn't. And now it's like, child, it's I might got 3 weeks left of school, maybe. A little too late, focusing on exams, like I said. Um, but at least I did like some of the Black student activities, some of it is better than none of it. Um, yeah, it's quite regrettable. And I put that club that shall not be named. I had to think just because that was what expected of me, but I like never fit in that club. That is, oh my God, that is another thing. Like I just didn't fit in. And it's not because they made the club something it wasn't. Like it was a club for a specific purpose. And it just so happened a lot of people in the club ended up being of a certain ethnic group. And if you weren't of that ethnic group, then, you know, you really weren't um part of like they kind of it, God, if you weren't of that ethnic group, how do I say this? They excluded you essentially. Like you were in the club, but not really like you were there. Like just I remember I would just be sitting around these people all day, every day, because we were in the same club. And just because you have one similarity with people doesn't mean that you got to be friends with them. And that was made very clear to me. I think maybe I had to go through that experience to understand that. And the people that I had the least similarities with, I had the greatest time and learned so much, developed myself. I mean, it's strange how these things work out, honestly. It's very strange. Um, that was quite unfortunate, but yeah, like I just wasn't of that ethnic group. And then, when the George Floyd situation was happening, suddenly they did like a thing where they were like, oh, let's include Black students. And I'm dramatic. One thing about me, I'm dramatic. Look, I thought I was like overreacting or whatever. But no, when we did the whole uh including Black students, it's crazy because it took the whole George Floyd situation for them to even consider. Oh yeah, we kind of are excluding the like Black kids on campus. It's crazy. It took that much. But yeah, they finally got to it and they were like, oh, yeah, we should probably include them. And they finally did. God, they it's just so y'all never thought about including Black students in anything in this organization, even though there's a lot of Black people that are associated with it, and a lot of Black people that just don't go there, honestly. And I didn't understand, but now I do. It took me a long time, but I eventually got there. And race doesn't really matter, but if people in a certain organization are acting like it matters, or they're very, very ethnocentric, and it's like not a club about it's not a club about your ethnicity. So yeah, that child. Whew, I got a lot to say about that certain club. It was, I feel like most clubs on campus are not like this. It was just this specific, club or organization. But most clubs are very inclusive. I feel like UMD is very inclusive when it comes to diversity. And the diversity here, like they actually try to include students of color and things at this university, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate it so, so much. And this school does so much for students. And I'm not gonna lie, I've had some bad experiences here, but when I think about the overall picture, like, yeah, I might have had a bad experience, but the overall picture, I think at UMD is great, and I'm really gonna miss this place, even though I complain about it like a lot. And but it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, I think overall, like I've had a good experience at clubs on campus. I wish I did more or I was more active, but like I said, I always focus on my studies. And you don't want to be that person that's like going to every event and failing every class. Um, because there's always going to be events. Like, you're not going to die if you study for a little, sometimes life happens, you can't be everywhere at once. Have the fun you need to have and then keep it moving, keep it pushing. But yeah, like just for me, the Shakespeare Club was so good. I mean, like, granted, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, half the people in Shakespeare Club don't know who I am. Because, like I said, I'm not there like every second. Like, I'm there like when, I feel like I want to do a little, a little something, something, like a play or something. But I'm not gonna be there all the time. Because I got stuff to do. Like, even this semester, I was actually going to direct a play, but I'm graduating soon. I wanted to focus on school. So I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I kind of backed out last minute. Okay, it wasn't like last minute. It was like the day of that we were really going to organize it. So it was like ahead of time, but like anyways. But yeah, like it, I just some like I learned so much about myself in that club and I was so scared to do it. After COVID, I was like, dang, we've been stuck in the house all of this time. And I kind of feel like I wanted to do something. Like, what's something that I've always wanted to do that I haven't done? And I was like, theater. I feel like I've always been a bit of a theater kid. But like I grew up, how do I say it? In a place where like if you were black and you liked white people stuff, quote unquote. Not my words. I don't know how you can like quote unquote white people stuff. I'm just being myself. I'm just being myself. There's no such thing as white people stuff to me, anyways. Um, but I was into like things that were considered white people stuff for some reason. And theater is one of those things, so that we didn't really have that at my school. Um, yeah, it wasn't a thing. Honestly, like that is crazy. Yeah, we didn't. And there's like a lot of things I was interested in. We just didn't have in our school because a lot of people thought it was white people stuff. And it was like, oh yeah, and even when I joined theater club, certain members of my family were like, that's like a white people thing to do. I don't know why you like all this white people stuff. No, yeah, that's weird. Or like, I'll look at their Instagram page. And they have a YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel. And I would just be looking and they were like, isn't that all white people? I'm like, even if it is, I think I spotted like one black person in the background. But even if it is, like, what's the issue? What's the issue? Please tell me. Like, I don't see the issue. It's not about like people's ethnicity or anything like that. Like, I think if you think in those lines, it's a very limited way to think. I think you should just go for what you actually like to do and something that makes you happy. And for me, that was theater club. Theater club made me very, very happy. Um, so I have good memories, and my best friends with everyone at there. No, like I guess we're acquaintances, but it's what we actually did. I've always considered myself a bit of an artiste. Sorry, y'all. Okay, yes, I always consider myself a bit of an artist, and this whole like theater thing, I just was able to put myself out there and see that I'm really good. Maybe I'm not good at being on stage because I need to work on that. I might not be good at that, but I am good at directing plays. Mm-hmm. Your girl can direct. And I would have never known that about myself had I not tried. And I think I think that's the best thing about clubs on campus. Really getting to know yourself, you know, and experiences and knowing people and stuff like that. I really, really, really enjoyed it very much. And it was something I was scared of, but I decided to go anywhere anyway. And I was so scared to do it. I was so scared to do it, but it ended up being something that I'm going to look back at fondly. And that's the thing. Sometimes you got to just take the leap into something that you are afraid to do. So sometimes that's what it has to be. um, yeah, it has to be that sometimes. So I'm just so happy that I did that. And I really, you know, was able to see a part of me that I was never exposed to. I truly believe that we have parts of ourselves that are like that we have not explored. Things, skills, things that we just don't know about ourselves, but you have to be able to take the leap to find out. And for me, that was something that was so scary and, you know, something that had I not tried it at the time I did, I would have never had that experience, especially because, like growing up, we didn't have that stuff, at least in my school, because it was white people stuff. Um, and that's always something I've always made fun of, liking white people stuff. Which I don't think that exists. That's not a thing, just I don't know, like it's like you can see in my smile how much um theater club made me happy. I remember it was I think it was something that I really look forward to and passion. And I wish I did it more. I wish I wasn't scared. Um that first time, fall 2017, when I walked past by their table and I put myself on the email list and I got emails and I was like, oh, I can't do it. I don't know. I've never been on stage. Even now, like when I introduce a play and I go on stage and I'm like, hey guys, this is the play. This is what it means. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to get off stage because people are looking at you. That's something you're going to have to overcome. And everyone in theater, oh my God, everyone in theater club is like part of these, acting organizations and their parents are into going to the theater. Child. I like if I get my parents to take me down the street, but everyone in theater club is are serious actors. It's something they've been doing since their childhood. Their parents are involved with it. It's something that their family is into. And then there's me. I was like, oh, I'm new to this, and maybe, with some practice, maybe I could be better. And I honestly wish I did something like that in high school. But I'm so happy I mustered up the confidence to actually go after what I'm passionate about. And now I can say, like, maybe I'm like, okay, I've been like calling myself like a theater girly, like a theater kid. It's like, yeah, I did it once and now it's like my identity, which is like weird, I guess. Because I actually like when I started doing it, I started like saying like, yeah, I'm a theater kid. And my friend was like, girl, theater club for like a year, maybe a year and a half. Like, this is not, but it's something I was always passionate about. And like, there's so many clubs on campus. You can find whatever you're passionate about over here. Um, I just think it helped with my self development so much. Um, yeah, like maybe I didn't have an upbringing where like being into theater or the arts was even something my parents cared about. My parents are boomers. They don't care about that stuff. And a lot of times they were like, that's just not something that we think like suits you because you're like not white, which I hate that term. Because like what is that supposed to mean? I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but like it's just like it's not it for me. Um yeah, like I, I cannot express it. It made me so happy. Sometimes you have to take like a leap forward and if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. If you fall flat in your face, I was willing to fall flat on my face. And completely fell at this because I was just like, it's something I'm genuinely interested in. I don't want to be like, what if, because look, I'm still here. Like you don't want to be with the what if I actually did this or what if I actually, I did it. It took me, I did it the last moment, the very last moment, but I actually ended up doing it. And I think that's all that matters at this point. Um, there's like other clubs I was, oh yeah, oh my God. so this is a completely different topic. It's about people who use people. So there's this club, I'm not gonna name it. It doesn't even exist anymore. Made by this girl, and she just made the club, I think, for some like something to put on her like resume when because she was graduating that semester and she made it and she didn't really care to maintain it or really tell us how to do stuff because we did like competitions and stuff anyways. Um, and it just completely fell apart when she left. And there are going to be those people that just make clubs just so they can get a little bit of clout or something from it and not really care about that. There's those types of people. And then, oh my God. And tell me why I was scrolling on TikTok and I see her and she has a whole page about this. And I was like, ma'am. I was like, ma'am. Because she was really rude about it too. Like you could tell she was just doing it just to say, oh yeah, I started this club at the University of Maryland. Um, she didn't actually care about it. There's going to be those types of people, unfortunately. But I think there are so many good clubs out there. Like, I do have some bad experiences. I used to be vegan. I was like in the vegan club too. That was interesting. I'm not vegan anymore. So sometimes I'm just like, when I'm like in Snap eating my chicken or something, like when like the vegan kids see me and they're like, isn't that, she looks familiar. Isn't that like the girl that was in vegan club? Sometimes, sometimes I wonder that genuinely. But I don't know. I don't think I ran into them ever again. But there's something for young captains, definitely. Um, and for me, that was theater club, but I was too scared to join till like the very last minute, unfortunately. So yeah, that's what I have to say about clubs. I mean, they're fun. They're great experiences. I've had even like with that club that I did not name, the first one. I think I had some good memories there because I never try to just be negative off the bat. Like I always gave them the benefit of the doubt. Um, and we had some. I had some good times. I don't know what I'm not weird about them, but maybe I was oblivious to certain things. But I definitely did have a good time there, even though I may have been excluded for being Black, which I don't think really matters. That's not something that is an important factor about me. At least that's how I feel. But it is what it is. So yeah, that's like what I have to say about clubs. I mean, generally speaking, I feel like it's like talking in circles, but generally speaking, I think it's something that's good. If you're gonna maybe have to try a few out until you find the right one. Um, and I think really if you find a club you really, really, really vibe with. I am using Gen Z language. Like honestly, I don't even like want to claim being Gen Z because I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm not, but like lately I have come to terms that I actually am Gen Z technically, but like I like the whole like TikTok like I don't do it. Um like I don't get that, but but like I was saying, yeah, there's a club for everyone, and, can really help you develop yourself. Once you really find that club, something that's really for you, it, it means a lot. Like, especially for me, the whole theater club, I like would love to continue doing theater even after college. Um, and if I go to grad school, which I'm planning to, strongly planning to, I definitely want to do something like that. Like, theater club or like if I can be better at memorizing lines, which y'all, I'm bad at remembering lines. Like, do you know how hard it is to remember lines? Yeah, like if I get better at that, I definitely want to be on stage. If I get, rid of my stage fright and stuff. I don't know, I'm a very artsy person, but I think clubs are a great experience. They help you learn more about yourself, help you learn more about other people. Like that club I was in where the girl only made the club because she wanted to put down that she made the club at UMD. And then the club completely fell apart because she didn't even yeah, there's those people, but I think generally speaking, there's a lot of clubs here that people are generally genuinely passionate about. I learned, oh my God, I learned that there was a trail club, a climbing club, and like I wish I knew that before because now it's too late. It's too late to do that. I'm like mad because I love going on the trail. One thing about me is I love going on a trail. Like I love a good walk since high school. Like like y'all, you put me on a trail, I'm gonna be so happy. Like I love trails, and I'm so mad that I just found out last minute that there is a trail club. So, you know, it's so sad. But you know what? We regretfully, that makes me sad. But maybe in the future I can maybe join a trail club here or something, or a climbing club. Climbing seems fun. Something physical. I used to like be one of those girls that were like, um, y'all are not gonna have me out here outside. I'm not exercising. I don't want to move. And I'm not gonna move. I'm gonna sit home and do nothing. And now I'm just like, ooh, trails. Sorry, I'm like talking in circles. Um, but yeah, I think that's it for today. Like there's definitely a club out there. Make sure you find them before it's too late and you're a senior and you're graduating and you have to go. And it's, you know, not the time for it. But yeah, that's what I have here today. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.